would want to do is expand our operations X-fold and be able to accommodate some of these big box stores if they went nationwide. Right now, there's not a lot of companies countrywide who can handle that type of volume. And that's what we're looking at in the near term, because it will definitely happen.
From MJBulls Media, it's the Raising Cannabis Capital Show. Today on Raising Cannabis Capital, we are joined by Mike Matton from High Purity Natural Products and High Purity Natural Extractions, and Seth Worby from Cannabis Creative. Mike, Seth, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dan, thanks.
As everyone can tell, today's show is going to be a little different because we actually have two separate companies on the show. And the reason we have both companies is because they work very closely together. In fact, I think I read that you recently formed a strategic partnership. But with two companies, we have a lot of ground to cover. So let me try to set the stage. Right now, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of companies that are looking to add CBD to their existing products or to create new CBD product lines. And most of these companies need guidance. You know, where do you get the CBD? What type of products? And how do I market it? Mike, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about high purity natural products and high purity extractions and how you help these companies get their products to market?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. So High Purity Natural Products is a Massachusetts licensed company, and we're vertically integrated to grow industrial hemp, extract industrial hemp, and then create CBD products. And our whole business model is we are a contract manufacturer of CBD products. So we basically white label for folks. We don't have our own brand. We make standard formulations, custom formulations for other clients and larger companies, and we put their label and their branding on that.
So you're actually growing the hemp right in Massachusetts?
We are, yeah. As a mass licensed company, all the hemp has to come from a compliant licensed grower in the state. You can't bring hemp from out of state. So we do have a grow, which is in process right now. And then we also have the ability to purchase hemp from other compliant licensed hemp growers in the state.
Okay. Well, so there's so much more to CBD to get the products to markets, because you have packaging, you have design, you have marketing, and that's where Cannabis Creative comes in. Seth, can you tell us how you guys help the companies once the product has been made to get it to market?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just piggyback off of what Mike said. So basically what we do is help people actually make money.
I like that.
Mike can provide the product and help you get everything you need on the shelf, get you, your initial package and all that. But the design of the package, your brand, your message, knowing your target audience and knowing where your traffic's going to come from. Are you targeting athletes? Are you targeting an elderly audience? Is it a general CBD product? So there's all different niche products out there, and it's important, just like any other brand in a traditional industry, to know who you are and be good at who you are, because there's a lot of players out there. And then beyond that, knowing the regulations. And as my team for almost half a decade now in the cannabis/CBD space, we are well versed in all the regulations and knowing the words you can and can't say and what platforms, and maximizing the opportunities that exist online for marketing CBD.
It's such a big thing, and so many companies get tripped up by that. I'm glad you mentioned that, Seth, because there's so many restrictions, and from state to state, it's different. I mean, really having somebody to hold your hand through this process is so important. You mentioned one thing that I find refreshing is that the CBD companies are starting to find their path or their demographic that they're targeting, as opposed to just saying, I have CBD. Mm-hmm. They're narrowing it down to specific groups. Can you maybe talk just a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, just even 2 years ago, I remember some of our earlier meetings, we were putting out all these products we'd buy locally, CBD products, and they were all just general, whether they were gummies or vapes or whatever they were. There was no real focus. But now what you're seeing out on the West Coast and more on the East Coast in the cannabis space, CBD is following suit, where people are really niching into what they're really good at And they're understanding that, just like an Anheuser-Busch or any other large industry company not in this space does over time, is figuring out what their specialty is and trying to maximize their distribution and potential for that. So at the end of the day, when you look at a shelf and you have a lot of first-time users, a lot of curious people out there, don't know what CBD is, want to try it, don't believe in it, whatever it is, they've heard about it and they're buying it. That first time, they look at the packaging and they can't taste it. They don't know what the effects are going to be until they've tried it. So if your package can pop out to them, that's important. The prettiest package to the user will end up being the one they select.
There are so many new CBD companies out there, so many new ones, but most of them are small. But I know it's just a matter of time before mainstream companies, the giant companies, household name ones. Mike, are you starting to get some inquiries from the big boys, the big boxes, and some of the cosmetic companies?
We are, yeah, definitely. I mean, grocery stores are starting to put CBD products on the shelf, CVS and Walgreens, skincare products. So the big box stores are starting to play in the CBD industry.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine being the companies that's supplying CBD to, say, CVS when they go from that walk to run stage? What a great place to be. Speaking of that, well, speaking of that, Mike, what's next for you guys?
Yeah, so right now we're growing organically. We've been in the space ever since the Massachusetts guidelines came out and allowed the growing of hemp and production of CBD products. What we're looking at into the future is if we do want to grow exponentially, what we would want to do is expand our operations X-fold and be able to accommodate some of these big box stores if they went nationwide. Right now, there's not a lot of companies countrywide who can handle that type of volume. And that's what we're looking at in the near term, because it will definitely happen. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, because you're talking train loads instead of truckloads once you get to that level.
No doubt.
And the companies that are ready are the ones that are going to get the deals, because, CVS is not going to say, oh, yeah, Mike, as soon as you get ready, let us know. Be like, sorry, we're on to the next one. Same with you, Seth. I mean, I'm sure that, you're just going to be getting bombarded, but I guess what's next for you guys?
Yeah, well, we already are. The industry is booming, and a lot of people are reaching out as our portfolio goes public and we show more and more of our work to people. The word of mouth is spreading, and it's been a great run so far. What's next for us is just expanding our partnerships. We have a ton of industry partners, from Leaf Logics to BioTrack to plenty of others, expanding those relationships with our clients as well. We have a lot of clients from the dispensary space all the way down to the auxiliary businesses. Right now we're through our round one and growing rapidly, but if an angel showed up at the door and wanted to do something great with us, we'd be foolish not to hear their idea. The worst we could say is no. Anyways, what's next for us is to do more market research, enjoy the industry, and grow the company. No pun intended.
Well, you certainly need to be in position for when, like I said, when these big companies come in, because they're going to need guidance just like everybody else. And Mike, is there going to be opportunities for investors to participate in your growth?
Yes, no doubt about it. For growth to handle very large volumes, we would want to expand operations and also implement more automated equipment.
And that doesn't sound like something that's cheap. That doesn't sound cheap.
Yeah, that definitely takes some additional talent and also the proper funds to be able to implement that.
Yeah. Well, we've been speaking with Mike Matton from High Purity Natural Products and High Purity Natural Extractions, and Seth Worby from Cannabis Creative, and all of their contact information. And we also have investor information on the MJBulls website. So Mike and Seth, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Good luck with this.